Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, David Haye's made some comments. He feels Anthony Joshua will beat Tyson Fury because he's physically the superior fighter. He goes that Tyson Fury may have... Basically, what he's saying is that Joshua's improving. Fury feels he's the finished article, and Joshua's improving, learning. And Fury is the favorite. Fury believes he has the better boxing skills, or he has the better boxing skills, but Joshua's learning. Joshua's getting better. He's the better athlete. He also mentioned that if they were to do any other sport apart from boxing, Joshua would be better. He claimed that. And he also mentions that Joshua's getting better. He's physically the superior fight. Like, he's, physically superior. And Joshua's getting better all the time. And he doesn't feel Fury's getting better from the comments that he made. And he feels he likes the underdog in this fight. And he feels the underdog will beat Tyson Fury. Now, a lot of people will say that, David Haye's a Tyson Fury hater. But I think these comments are quite weird and a bit ridiculous, to be honest. I don't agree with David Haye. If we look at both those guys, we haven't seen anyone like Tyson Fury before. He's actually, for me, physically, when he says Anthony Joshua is athletically more gifted and the fact that he would do better than Tyson Fury in most other sports, again, I disagree. Tyson Fury moves unbelievably. Tyson Fury, for his size, moves really well. But again, we're not talking about having a 100-meter dash. We're not talking about doing other sports. That don't mean anything. David Haye said exactly the same things about himself when he was about to fight Tyson Fury. I would beat you in a sprint. I'd do this. I'm physically more. That don't mean anything to me. Like, if he's athletically more gifted. Let me tell you what matters. Inside that boxing ring, Tyson Fury moves better than anyone I've seen that size. There isn't no one in history that you can say at that size moves like that. Tyson Fury, Max Kellerman mentioned it on his podcast. He said Tyson Fury moves like a welterweight. The way he ducks and dives and misses and avoids punches is unbelievable. Tyson Fury is an anomaly. Like, we've seen guys like Joshua before, strong, big, muscular guys that are powerful, got good, he's got a good he's a better combination puncher than Fury. He punches harder than Fury. But Fury, he's not there to be hit. He's very, very good. Athletically, I don't know what he means athletically, but for me, Fury's physically superior. When I look at Fury, and I'm not talking about them, having a 100-meter dash, or that doesn't really matter to me because they're not going to have a 100-meter dash. They're going to have a boxing fight. And for me, Fury's skills are unbelievable. For me, I think Fury's very, very gifted. With a guy that's 6'9" at 275 pounds, how many people do you see move like that at that weight and that height? Normally guys of that size are clumsy. Like, they're really clumsy. Fury's sharp, fast, great footwork, great, head movement. He's very hard to hit. And he's got a great, he recovers well from taking punishment. He's got heart, Fury's got it all. There are attributes that Joshua has that are better than Fury, but to say he's physically, and let's not forget, when these two fight, Fury's physically got the physical advantages in this fight. Tyson Fury has physical advantages. He's got the reach, height. He's got a lot of things over. For me, he's got the speed. He's got, Joshua's a fast combination puncher, but Fury, you're not going to hit him with those combination punches. Fury's out. Like, you might hit him with one. You're lucky. It's hard to hit Fury. And Mike Tyson made a good point that Joshua may hit harder than Wilder, but he doesn't throw faster than Wilder. And I agree, Wilder's unpredictable and he throws very fast. He's explosive. Joshua, for me, is not as fast, not as quick. His punches, although he's got better boxing skills, right, and he can set up his punches a lot better. However, I think Fury will avoid those punches. See, for me, Wilder's more dangerous because he's unpredictable. You don't know where his punches are coming from. They're wild. But I don't agree with David Haye to say that Anthony Joshua is physically superior. Nah, I disagree. I think Fury's very, very hard to hit. Fury, man, he's an anomaly. When have we seen anyone like that before? That's 6'9". That's that big. That moves like that. Like, we've never seen it before in boxing. We've seen guys like Joshua before. We haven't seen guys like Fury before. Fury's an anomaly. And this isn't about me, being a Joshua fan of Fury. I'm just being objective, telling you what I see. Fury moves unbelievably. Like, when you talk about physicals being physically superior, we're not talking about having a 100-meter dash. We're talking about a boxing fight. For me, Fury recovers better from taking a punch. He takes a better punch for me. And even when he is hurt, he recovers a lot better. He's got better footwork. He's very fast. He may not be as good a combination puncher as Joshua, but single punches, I say Fury's faster. He's got the better defense, better head movement. He avoids punches better. Listen, man, I like David Haye. I think David Haye doesn't get enough respect for his career, and a lot of British fans give him a lot of stick. I actually think David Haye was a brilliant fighter and had a great career. And actually, I don't really think a lot of people give David Haye the credit he deserves, but I do think that, I don't agree with his comments there. I definitely don't agree with his comments because, like I said, when we start talking about, he's physically more gifted, physically superior, and he would beat Tyson Fury in any other sport, we're not doing any other sport. He's got to beat him in a boxing fight. And for me, what Tyson Fury can do inside that boxing ring is an anomaly. Like, you don't get guys like that. You don't get 6'9", 275 pounds moving like that. They're very clumsy. Most guys that big are slow. And Fury's just the polar opposite. Fury's just unbelievable for me. And this isn't taking sides. This is just like if David Haye thinks Anthony Joshua wins, that's fine. But some of the comments that he made that, if Joshua and Fury were to do any other sport, Joshua wins. But we're not. Why are we talking about any other sport? He may be athletically more gifted. I don't know what he means by that. Joshua can't move like Tyson Fury. Joshua isn't as fast as Tyson Fury. Can't move out of the way of punches as fast as Tyson Fury. Yeah, he's got a good combination punches. He punches harder. This isn't a bodybuilding contest. This isn't a bodybuilding contest. This is not, he's athletically more gifted, he's got a great body. That don't mean anything. Vladimir Klitschko had an unbelievable body. Vladimir Klitschko couldn't get near Fury. I don't agree. I don't agree. I think the comments from David Haye, I don't know whether he genuinely believes that or he's rooting for AJ. I don't know. I think there's definitely some kind of bitterness there between the two because I don't agree with those comments whatsoever. If one thing, him thinking that Anthony Joshua, let's not forget, David Haye also said that Wilder would beat Tyson Fury. I still think that although David Haye has to give Tyson Fury credit now because of what Tyson Fury's achieved, I still don't think, and I don't think he's being bitter towards Tyson Fury. I don't think he rates him. I don't personally think David Haye rates Tyson Fury that highly. If I was to give my honest opinion, I think he thinks that he doesn't rate Tyson Fury that highly. I think he still thinks that, this guy's not as good as what people think, and he looks at him still as a joker. I just think he looks at his style and probably not that impressed. But he has to give him credit now because of what he's done with Klitschko, what he's done with Wilder. And let's not forget, David Haye picked against him in all those fights. David Haye expected Klitschko to beat Tyson Fury. David Haye expected Wilder to win the first fight. David Haye expected Wilder to win the second fight. He openly said these things. So, and now we, again, now you've seen him do it a couple times. And now you're still picking against Tyson Fury when majority of hardcore boxing fans, we're not biased boxing fans, objective, guys that don't really care, like myself, I don't really care who wins the fight out of these two. giving my honest opinion. I don't really have a horse in the race or anybody that I prefer to win this fight. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just giving you my honest opinion. And that's why my opinion's fair in the sense that I'm not... If I thought AJ would win, I would say AJ would win. If I thought Fury would win, like I think Fury's going to win, I'm just giving you my opinion. So I think most fans that are objective, that don't have any... that are neutral, are picking Fury to win this fight. Some may have Joshua. Don't get me wrong. Joshua could win this fight. No question about it. Joshua's capable of beating Tyson Fury. There's no doubt about it. But just some of the comments that David Haye made, like he's admitting that Joshua's the underdog, but he likes the underdog because he feels Joshua's athletically more gifted. Joshua would beat Fury in all other like sports if they wasn't to do with boxing. Like that comment for me, I didn't understand that because they're going to be boxing. They're not going to be having a 100-meter dash or playing basketball, you know. So again, you know, maybe Wilder would beat Fury at many other sports. Maybe Wilder's more athletically gifted than Fury. You know, but when it comes to boxing, Fury's a maverick. He's an unbelievable fighter. Like, he's an anomaly. You never get that again. 6'9", 275 pounds. Who moves like that? Who moves like that? Avoids punches and a slick heavyweight like that size and height. You don't get to see things. We're never gonna see that again. You know, a lot of people say Fury's clumsy and he don't look... Yeah, because most guys at that size are clumsy. How many heavy guys have you seen that are 6'10", right? Most of them look clumsy because they're so big. Most guys that are very tall aren't the most coordinated. Just forget about boxing, but in general. When you see a guy that's really, really tall, I'm talking 6'6", 6'7", they don't look very coordinated generally. I don't know what it is. Just they're huge, they're tall. You know, they're not very coordinated. But Fury, he's brilliant. Like the way he moves, how fast he is, his head movement, everything is just brilliant. You know, so... And let's not forget, over AJ, he has all the physical advantages. Yeah, AJ might punch harder. But again, he's going to have to land those punches. And it's very difficult to land punches on Tyson Fury. Very difficult. It's not easy. I know people keep talking about walling. Yes, some guys, Fury has those fights where he looks bad at times. But when he's on it, he's very hard to hit. Vladimir Klitschko had great boxing skills. I do think AJ will take more risks than Vladimir Klitschko. I think AJ will also struggle to land on Tyson Fury. You think he's going to be landing like 3-4 combination? Like, oh no, Fury's very, very difficult to hit. Clean, very, very difficult. And that, for a guy of that size, weight, it's impressive. So I don't agree with David Haye's comments. Like, I think Fury wins the fight, but listen, there's nothing wrong with David Haye picking Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua can beat Tyson Fury. No problem, no doubt about it. He's a big, strong guy with good boxing skills. He can punch. But just some of the comments that David Haye made, I just found a bit strange. Like, he's physically superior because if they were to do any other sport apart from boxing, Joshua would win. I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, maybe certain things, yes. But I don't necessarily agree with that because I think Fury's very athletically gifted for a guy that's that size. I think he can do certain things which most guys of that size won't be able to do. He's an anomaly. He's a maverick. He's an unbelievable fighter. So I don't know what you guys make of David Haye's comments. You know, does Anthony Joshua have a chance of beating Fury? Of course he does. Of course he does. Is he the favorite in my eyes? No, he's not. And is he the favorite amongst the bookies' eyes? No, he's not. Let's be real. I don't think he'll be favorite. I don't think he'll be favorite to beat Tyson Fury. But he definitely has a good chance. And he has the boxing skills to do it. But do I think he's physically superior? I don't think so. I think Tyson Fury has unbelievable skills for a guy of that size. Let's not forget, he's bigger than most guys. He's bigger than Anthony Joshua, size-wise, height-wise, got the longer reach. He's just overall a bigger guy, which is going to play into his advantage when he fights Joshua. You know, but that's my take on it anyway. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think. You know, what do you think? Do you agree with David Haye? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section and we can have a little debate about it. Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.